And then he's walking around Jerusalem, and his disciples are like, wow, look at these buildings. They're beautiful. And look at that temple. It's glorious. And Jesus looks at it and he's like, actually, that's going to be destroyed. Rome's going to come in here, and not one stone will be left on another. They're going to just level the ground of this place. And then they're like, when's that going to happen? That's the question they ask. When's that going to happen? And Jesus responds with a whole bunch of apocalyptic sayings that is kind of part of this passage here that we read, is part of the apocalyptic response to when is that going to happen. So our mind that's been like seeded with left behind theologies and all that kind of stuff says Jesus is talking about the end of the world when he's coming back, and then the rapture happens and we're all in heaven. And then see how we didn't build that's the quick hermeneutic. That's the cheater hermeneutic. You just believe that Jesus is talking about the theological framework that you're already holding. And most of the time it doesn't, because there's a whole culture, there's a whole political conversation, there's an economic conversation, there's a religious conversation that's happening in the world at the time. And so Jesus saying those things, he's not talking about the end of the world. He's talking about the end of their world. He's like, when you see these signs, head for the mountains. Why do you tell them to head for the mountains? Because there's cities in the mountains that they could go to, and then they're going to have to rebuild something because the temple will be destroyed. And the temple was the center of their religion, of their governance, of their economy, of their history, of their identity. It was everything. It was everything to these people. And to say that that was going to be destroyed was pretty much declaring the end of their world. Like, it'll be an entirely different age. And in 70 AD, it did happen. Jesus weeps over Jerusalem because they will not give up their violent desire to militarily uh, um, go against Rome and the armies against Rome, rebel against them. And he weeps and says, man, that mindset's going to kill them all. And so he says, yeah, this temple will be destroyed because of that mindset that they have. So this is not predicting the end of the world, but the end of their world. And so he's saying that you're going to have to rebuild something around tables. You're going to have to rebuild something around inclusiveness. So you can notice here that this passage is kind of apocalyptic. It's a kind of like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? This is not a like, hey, he didn't say, but God got this. Don't worry about it. It's going to be good. Because hope is not a denial. Hope is not some fear-based end time speculation